Hi again. Time for a little variety here. Okay, this is part B of Embracing the Dark Side, a series of journals that I wrote on, or that came through me on January 27th. And the Mayan day was 11 alligator or crocodile. And I have a note here. I said there were 8 of these. There are 9. Oops. Okay, inner darkness. We all have it. Those of us who own it, who take responsibility for the reality of it, however, branch off the beaten path, take a fork in the road that looks so dark and shadowy, yet knowing we are called by heart to go this way. Though we don't know it when we first set off on this path, there are discoveries and developments possible here that would never be encountered on the other path. Actually, and I will lose some here, we walk both paths. We always walk the path of light. We can't help it. We are of the light, and that's just the way of it. So, we walk both paths simultaneously as we head off this way, the way of accepting and owning both the greater darkness of the world and our own inner darkness. Really, they are the same, but that is not at first visible or apparent. So, to embrace the darkness, what an idea! What does it mean? Heck, I don't know. Excuse me. All I know is my own path. That is what I speak from, and it is not exhaustive. Each one's path is equally valid. We are all here in support of one another. So we'd best be about finding our own inner genius and letting that light shine. Meanwhile, for me at least, that light includes a balancing polarity of darkness. While I was locked in polarity, in duality, in other words, in full radiant 3D, I could not embrace both at once. They were seeming opposites. How could that be done? How could it even be conceived? We're stepping up now, however, many of us already on 4D and able to look at polarity from a new angle, from above it. We can look down on it now and see more of the whole picture of it, and thus witness the balance and see its critical importance. We realize that all along it was the balance that was important, not what side of the poles we happen to be expressing at the moment. No, balance was the point, not just to be on one side or the other. Yes, okay, it is likewise true that duality equals choices, and that when choices are presented, of course, we quite naturally reach for light. We choose the right-hand path, as the saying is. That is also true. I don't deny it. It is just not under discussion right now. So, back to viewing the duality from above and seeing how balance is the point, is that point of equipoise from which one may leap up, may take the next step, may rise in both dimension and consciousness. We don't generally see this except with hindsight, however, for it is simply not visible from 3D, from within that matrix, that paradigm. Remember, too, that vision is key. So we look back down upon 3D land, and we see how very unbalanced an existence it was while we were locked within it. Yes, we see too how we held the key all along to exit the maze, but that's perfect hindsight again, and not really valid for the time we were contained in form there below. We all did and do our best, and that's quite good enough. Everyone will exit at the right point and move on. We leave it when we are ready to, not before. So, Just because we're up here, maybe in 4D land, I don't know, just because we're above that now and able to view it in its entirety, doesn't mean we are perfect. Far from it. In a way, it's just a different perspective. So, ego is not welcome here. Let's stay in heart, stay centered, and move on. From this level, we can easily see how each and every element of the 3D creation contains both the light side and the dark side. And the beauty of this, its ultimate glory. We've stepped out of Polarityville, where we felt called on to make judgments all the time of whether something was good or evil, light or dark, desirable or to be shunned. We've left that so far behind that it actually looks a bit ridiculous to us now. We're no longer able to even think in those terms. We contain more of the whole now. We are able to see it as a whole and complete and beautiful for that reason. The tree and its shadow are simply lovely. There is no good and bad to it. Who knows, perhaps being in that good-bad Polarityville was part of what was meant by the Adam and Eve story, where they ate of the fruit that let them see both good and evil. It certainly has echoes of that. Now, however, things are back together and seen as a beautiful whole. We step out of the sense of separateness, at least of the extreme sense of separateness that allowed us to break apart the creation, judging its bits and parts as if they were really separate. That is seen as a whole other world now, and we just can't relate to it anymore. We leave it in the past and move on. You know, I think I skipped a part here because I thought I wrote something about the shadow of the tree not being good or evil. It just is. But anyway, later then. Bye-bye.